Hey everybody, we're here at the round 2 of the regionals at the Covenant store in Tulsa. I'm Steven.
And I'm Robert.
And we're gonna give a rundown here. I have some exceptional introspection into the player on the left, given that it is indeed me.
And I have some incredible introspection on the player for the right, because that is indeed not me.
But it's Matt.
But it's Matt, and everybody knows Matt because he's the nicest guy on the planet.
Yeah, give a little history of Matt Phillips here. So, wasn't really a tabletop game player at all,
That's
as
right.
far as we know. Came in the Covenant store and kind of got hooked because the Thrones pull was very strong. He was very much into Game of Thrones. And now here he is at the top 4 in a regional. And it's kind of both fantastic at the same time, a bit frustrating that such a new player has seen the high ranks already. So congratulations to Matt, and his story is a good one for sure.
Yeah, Matt is also a very clever deck builder. He generally is running out with some sort of awesome build that nobody else has really taken the time to experiment with. And I think that really shows in his versatility of play because he always knows what to do, makes really good decisions, and very seldom just makes mistakes. And that's probably one of his strongest assets as a player.
I think Matt's at his, from all the things that I've seen, I think he's at his most comfortable in a sustained aggro setting. This is kind of a new term for the game. But Long Voyage really kind of made it happen. But he's been running the persistent, turn 3, turn 4 Asai builds with Altar of Fire, hand control, and things like that. But
then
really,
running it with Lannister, it's weird.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it really is a rush deck, but it's put in the clothes of a more long-term kind of deck. So he succeeds there, and he's running that dragon deck that we've seen so much from. And originally conceived by Rick, at least this version that we're seeing here, and then I think both of them had made some changes after that deck started happening. So we're seeing Matt's version here, and setup is an interesting place for both of us. I drop Asha, Street of Sisters, and Longship Grief with House of Dreams, whereas he looks like a white hatchling, that True Queen's Loyalist, I think it is.
Yeah.
That's the one, reduce the next thing you bring out with influence by 1, basically. And then the Great Pyramid, which no one ever likes to see because that is a whole lot of card wrapped up in one tiny little sleeve there.
Yeah, it's a lot of options.
So really not stellar setups by either of us. But I think at this point in the day, whenever you played 6 or so games, this is the 7th, I believe, you've seen bad hands and you've seen good hands, and the mediocre hands tend to just be like, oh, okay, I can play that.
So classic opening for Steven.
Yeah, Fury of the Kraken. I mean, you can't argue with winning initiative, getting 5 gold to set everything up, and also killing or discarding a Targ character. That's a whole lot of love for this matchup right here.
Was that a reinforcing reason to run that plot in your deck because you were expecting dragons and all that kind of a thing, or was that just you like it just because of what it is?
The deck had come along and there wasn't a restricted card in it, and that's always a good feeling when you see that, because then, if nothing else, you have your Fury plot. You probably have a spot for it. It'll replace one of your plots if you're not currently running a restricted card. So
Linked Advisor coming out from At the Gates.
Absolutely. So I'm immediately thinking, if he opens At the Gates, maybe Dragonlord Balerion coming first turn, which the Raiders...
How do they always get that?
I don't know, but it's it's my worst nightmare. I want my stuff standing at all costs. That's obviously why Longship Grief is happening as it is.
Are you running any cancel in this deck?
A little bit of cancel. To be a Kraken with the military battle is currently what I am running.
Cool.
So we're looking at this thing, and Street of Sisters is going to be knelt here to reduce some stuff. Now these Raider decks typically like to get out early. This is pretty much a rush. I mean, it's 100%, I should say, a rush deck. So that's an Ambitious Oarsman coming out for free. It is ultimately a rush deck, period. Ambitious Oarsman allows you to really get those Raiders out, especially because Longship Grief is basically a free resource on turn 1 and for the rest of the game. Seeing that Sunset Sea is always nice, a little bit more explosion potential there. And Ironcliff's always good because you know what the one bane of a super awesome rush deck with power on everything is, and that is Valor and other kill effects.
That's right.
Greyjoy has an answer, though. Saves.
Saves. It would be something if Greyjoy had a keyword like Lannister does instead of Intimidate, if they had Infamy, because I was actually having a text conversation with one of our local players, Keith, the other day, and he was
Iron
saying
Fleet Captain comes out there.
he was saying how Infamy is tricky, and I said, yeah, it only really works if you can protect your characters almost without question, i.e. nobles with power of blood, but if Greyjoy had that with all their in-house saves, it would be nuts.
Nasty. Sansa C gets discarded for a Bloodthirsty Crew, and this is an excellent open for me right here. Iron Fleet Captain is going to speed up that victory condition. He's probably going to get a couple power. Asha's got Renown. She's going to be Russian. Bloodthirsty Crew is almost always an unopposed intrigue challenge no matter what happens, and of course none of this is going to be kneeling first turn. Going to drop Longclaw on the Bloodthirsty Crew to give him
Nice.
Renown as well. So you can see that this is the fastest this deck ever was, and Captain the Iron Fleet on Asha.
Wow, that's nuts.
Yeah, it's got to go on a unique Greyjoy, so it's not ideal.
Watch out, Great Pyramid.
She already has Renown, so it's not ideal, but if I can activate her, then I can potentially get 2 locations destroyed each turn.
Yeah.
Which against a dragon deck is absolutely critical. They have a lot of those locations that kneel to do random stuff during challenges or before challenges, and you can knock those guys out and just really tear this thing apart. So I was feeling really good about this, actually. This is a fantastic open. I've got Iron Cliff, so if the Valor comes next turn, it's not a big deal to me, which is why I really put everything out this turn. Matt dupes up Great Pyramid, which I'm kind of happy to see. It just means one less good card in his hand. And I'm very happy to see him at 3 gold, reducing to get to 5 total if he wants to play some stuff. He's also got 2 influence, and we know that all those big dragons are 4. So unless he plays more influence, don't have to worry about that. Uh-oh.
Here it comes.
Fiefdoms. And he's already knelt the loyalist over there.
That's right.
So that's 4 influence, basically, that he can use right now.
Man. Then, so seeing all these influence things coming out and now being knelt, are you confident now that you're not going to have to worry about a Balerion and all this kind of a thing on the first turn?
Very much so.
Okay.
He went for Rhaegal instead.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Rhaegal? Man.
I think you're right. You were right the last time.
I have PTSD on all these guys. Let's see, Drogon, Rhaegal, or
Viserion.
No, it's not. It's not Viserion.
Yeah, I think it's Rhaegal. I don't think it's either Rhaegal or Drogon for sure.
Yeah.
There's Strong Bell.
I want to say that's Drogon. I remember this game, and I think it's Drogon. It's the one that kills the characters.
Mm-hmm. Strong Bell is such a good card. Being able to save cards.
Man.
Woo, it's so nice.
So we're both kind of in a Valor's not too bad of a deal setup, and I think you'll see this. The top 2 decks have to do this. You have to have answers for Valor, and it can often come in the form of characters. Who would think that Targaryen would be actually pretty decent at saving with that Strong Bell loss?
Yeah, totally. At least the choicest of cards. And they can, for some reason, they seem like they always draw dupes. Just so reliably.
Oh, yeah. And this is the thing with these Long Voyage Dragon decks. Between all the hatchlings and the dupes of the main dragons themselves, it's really hard to catch them where you can actually sweep the board and do something about it. So the Valor usually doesn't help you as much as you think it would.
Yeah, which is a pity. Especially for Greyjoy. They love that offensive
Valor.
Valor.
Man, we love it. That's right. This is why it's a hard matchup.
So first up, I guess seeing military.
Looks like all military there. And I do have 1 stealth, 1 deadly, and that Bloodthirsty Crew with Intimidate, but it's not going to do much here. Except for keep the hatchling out, I suppose.
Yeah. Now, was there something that you didn't see in setup that you really wanted to see? Or not, like setup in first turn, I should say?
I would like a bit more economy. Other than that, maybe a captured cog or 2 so the ambitious oarsman can roll through and pay for some raiders.
Sure.
Other than that, this is really solid. I'm hoping to see Euron at some point, and that will really seal things for me. So it's going to be unopposed on the military challenge. He's going to kill the loyalist, and then I choose who to discard for my plot trigger.
Nice.
And I definitely want to get rid of Belwas. That's going to really open up that Valor for me later on in the game.
Yeah. And Bellas, I'm assuming, can only save for kill effects and not discard.
Yes.
Oh man!
And even if
you're just cleaning up,
even if it is kill or discard, I know that he can only save other stuff. He can't save himself.
Cool.
So
that's nice.
That may have been a reason as well. And we're applauding here because Sarah just won the Wildling deck, and she went insane. So this is an old thing that Fantasy Flight did back in the CCG. you have a tournament organizer who has this broken, crazy good wildling deck, and what happens is that if you beat it, you win it, and it's just a huge challenge. And she did it, and it's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, she had a happy freak out. It was quite nice.
So first challenge, 4 power, can't complain there. And the saves are gone, so this is looking quite nice.
It's looking way better for a Valor for you now.
Yeah.
I mean, would you consider it this early?
Oh, no. There's no reason. The Raiders just build up. I mean, they generally force the opponent to Valor, but the Dragons do the same thing, so we're kind of in a double dare-ya situation here.
Double dog dare.
Coming on the Intrigue Challenge, it's going to be unopposed. So yet again, another power for that Longclaw, and then going to take a card.
Does anybody ever, and this is for you, the viewer, as well, does anybody ever actually think about opposing a Intrigue Challenge that has Deadly attached to it?
It's hard to. You don't really want to.
Yeah.
Oh, Valerian.
Look at
What?
that. That is a money draw right there.
That's those Netrunner skills.
I thought it
coming
was
in.
like game over at that point. I was like, whoa, he got the Balerian, and he's already at 6 power. That's crazy. That's
and
crazy.
swinging out on the power challenge.
There it comes. So what made you want to swing for the power challenge? Are you hoping for the unopposed and claiming one for the Iron Fleet captain?
Yeah, I'm going to stealth a linked advisor, which I did, and then if he wants to oppose the Drogon, that's fine. If he doesn't, it's like my Iron Fleet captain's not going to be sitting back defending any challenge because he's going to get owned by the dragon anyway, so why not just go for it? Got an Ambitious Oarsman out of my hand, didn't care. And you'll notice something troubling. I have no hand, really. I've got like 1 card.
Yeah, that is troubling.
And this is ultimately the trouble. Didn't see any Bay of Ice, didn't see any Longship Iron Victory, didn't see any Readers. So I'm going to be really nervous now because if this doesn't get wrapped up in the next turn, I'm probably going to be suffering against a 3-draw Long Voyage deck.
Yeah, totally. And then, looks like, what, military challenge here?
I imagine that would be a military. And it's going to be unopposed, of course, because all my guys are kneeling down. Oh, that's the power claimer.
Yeah.
Whichever dragon that is.
Isn't that Rhaegal?
I think it's Rhaegal.
Okay.
The Syrian's location, Drogon's character kill.
We were way off.
It's Rhaegal. It's Rhaegal. And going to kill Ambitious Oarsman, which sucks. Trust me.
Yeah, I was very surprised when that got chosen for claim. That made sense for sure, but it's like, man, after losing the other one for an Intrigue Challenge and then discarding that for claim, killing it rather.
Like I said, I'm kind of, I'm coming into 3. I'm going to have 3 cards in my hand next turn. How useful is that Oarsman, effect going to be? I'm probably only going to be able to play 1 or 2 characters anyway, and I'm probably going to have the gold to do it with the Street of Sisters, so he just wasn't important to the board at this moment, although I really would like to have him later on. But
you're looking good. I mean, you're at 8 power of the 15 you need. Matt's only at 4. If you can do 8 first turn, oh my gosh, that's foreboding.
Yeah. Pre-plot nightmares on the Iron Cliffs.
You know what's coming now.
That's just the worst there.
It's like you have to assume without question that he's going to Valor now.
That's just the worst.
Yep.
So he's going to be getting rid of Asha with Captain of the Iron Fleet. He's going to be getting rid of the Iron Fleet Captain with 2 power. Going to be getting rid of Bloodthirsty Crew with 2 power and Longclaw. This is essentially my entire hand on the board that's getting swept now.
Yeah.
And
nuts.
Very debatable play here on my end. I think we've talked about it.
Yeah, I still have mixed thoughts about it, but you seem pretty confident still, or has that faded some?
I don't know. It's weird. Whenever you have no hand and no card draw, and you're in this position, I was just thinking, I can clear one of those actually big dragons off the board.
Yep.
And we can start from scratch. Maybe I can claw back in here. But ultimately, probably not the wisest move. I don't know what plot I would have done instead, but...
Do you recall some of your options?
I mean, you could run Victorian Schemes for the unopposed thing, just because it's a plot that you can run.
Yeah.
Had Attack from the Seed in y'all locations, which wasn't going to do me any good here. There really just wasn't a good plot for that situation.
Yeah, that sucks.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think I drew into 2 events here, too.
Ah, God. That's not what you want.
Or if not now, I definitely know it was next turn or turn after, but not great, man. Not great.
That's just too bad. Don't you just hate that?
Put out the cog.
There's the cog. It's been captured.
And that's it, looks like. So, bad draw, and this is the ultimate failing of rush decks.
They just empty and then fizzle.
They empty and fizzle, and I'm running Manning the City Walls because I have a lot of big armies rather than the Negotiation of the Great Sept, which would have been an excellent plot in this instance. So it's something to consider if you're thinking about running a deck like this.
Yeah.
That's definitely something that's worth thinking about. So Matt drops Viserion, about the worst thing I could imagine. That's the location kill one, and he's going to get a free shot here at one of my locations, which I'm not excited about at all.
No. Nor should you be.
No. Gets rid of Serious Sisters, of course.
A little surprising. I thought he might have tried to cement his long-term plans by getting rid of your cliffs. Oh, wait, that's one gold. Never mind.
Yeah. All he had was the Sisters.
Interesting.
But,
well, Dom to you.
Yeah, so now it's a matter of, can I get a character out? Can I win initiative and potentially, turn this around, maybe with a die by the sword or something? I don't think I had one in my hand, as I recall. I don't think I had any characters actually at this point.
Did you think you were incidentally justified for running Valor when you didn't draw into any characters? Did that kind of make it all right?
Yeah, kind of. It's it really, the only thing that there's manning the city walls on my end, so I'm gonna put the Reavers out here.
Nice. And
it's nice, except you really want right now to draw a character, which I believe I drew Kraegorn, which was just the worst. Looking for a Boatswain or even Ambitious Orphan, just something so I can combine Victarian's Readers and actually get a real challenge.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's just going to be killing that Great Pyramid, which,
yeah.
while good, boom.
Not what you want.
Kerwin, that's not the icon that I'm looking for. But okay, nonetheless.
We'll take it.
We will take it indeed. And Matt coming in on that big 2-claim.
Yeah, that has got to be nasty, especially when it's gonna, even if you drew into a Bloodthirsty Crew or something like that, it's gonna just shut down all the bells and whistles that character generally offers you.
At least I have 2 uniques out.
It's true.
That's something worth having.
It's true. And you can save him.
Yeah.
Unless he draws another Nightmares.
And that was key. I mean, that Nightmares is, if that Nightmares and Valor doesn't happen, I don't think there's any way that Matt can get back in this game.
Yeah.
Without that Nightmares, keeping both those guys saved, maybe would have even hit 15 next turn.
Yeah, I would agree that you were on a roll and just a couple more cards. Because I don't know, would you have been able to play the Reavers?
I don't know that I had them. I think I drew into trash that turn.
Okay.
Although I may have drawn into the Reavers and been like, I think that's what happened, and it was like, oh great.
Yeah.
Just when I didn't need you.
It's a big fatty. I can't play.
And honestly, I think at this point, I was pretty certain that this game was over. I remember the psychology telling me as much, thinking I'm top decking for the rest of the game. Matt's drawing 3 cards for the rest of the game, so he's got more card draw than me. He's got more economy than me. The numbers just didn't add up.
Yeah, the tempo was thrown so off.
And seeing, Viserion going to be getting rid of anything kind of economy-wise that I get to put out, I was not excited about it at all.
Yeah. It was just, man, drawing that Nightmares for Matt, just having it ready. I think he ran 2 in that 85-card deck, so that's really something to know that he was able to get it right when he needed it most, because that's a classic, Lannister conundrum that you were put in. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm playing my, flood the board / rush deck, and then, holy smokes, it's a Valor. What do I do now? It's I don't know.
Yeah, and that's why the game is so exciting, honestly. I mean, every card that you have can be drawn, and it sometimes just lines up right where you need it.
Yeah.
This is a interesting situation for all parties. Definitely eating a 2-claim military challenge this turn.
Yes. Having those 2 stealths on his end, 3 actually with the dragon. Every one of his characters has stealth. That's crazy.
Yeah, they usually do, which is pretty sad considering that that's kind of usually my shtick.
Yeah.
And this is a big problem with these dragon decks, is that you just can't stealth through them like you usually can.
I beg your pardon. Only the dragon has stealth, because the other 2 are blanked by his plot.
Yeah, that's right. For now.
Yes. For the time being.
As if it mattered.
Uh-oh. Attachment control.
And 1 dragon location and a fighting pit. So it's bad now.
Yeah, he
is. Really bad.
He is now going to start screaming at you.
Terran Jeever's coming in, may as well, on the challenge. It's like, please, spend everything to block that.
Yes.
Please make that happen.
But he's probably going to give you a token, if anything. Yep, token defense.
Token defense, and then claim 2 locations, which, if nothing else, I mean, you've got to look at this situation and realize how potent Victarian's Reavers can be. Clearing 2 locations on a non-kneeling turn, and then potentially kneeling for a second challenge. You can get rid of 4 locations with this guy.
Yeah.
After you drop him out with manning the city walls, or even if you play like a Power of Arms or something. So the location control that this guy possesses has often been overlooked, and it's ludicrous.
Yeah.
Truly ludicrous. And I believe I was told this, that since your opponent is making the choice, it actually can hit House of Dreams stuff as well.
What?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's like one of those claim replacement things.
Yeah, I mean, that totally makes sense, but that is awesome for that card.
Yeah.
Woo. That's some strong medicine.
It is strong. It is very, very strong.
So, going with the Intrigue Challenge.
Yeah. Maybe should have led with the Intrigue, but I was waiting for Matt to maybe block with a Dragon Thief, you know, so I'd be assured unopposed. It was just kind of...
Will he make a mistake?
Yeah, will he make a mistake indeed. Boom. All right.
Opposed. Power.
And let's just go. Let's go ahead and get rid of those 2 locations. I mean, and this is where you're thinking, if you still had the Valor, you had a chance.
Yeah.
You know, because you can save the Reavers, probably let Kerwin die. He has no locations, you've got locations, and you can maybe start to turn this thing around.
Yeah, the only question I would have is, to the success of that plan, is whether or not he had a dupe or something to dupe that dragon with. Because if he did, then it would have been a bit harder. But yeah, this is looking just so juicy and ready for a Valor of yours.
Yeah, and this is what Reavers can do. So again, I think, if nothing else, learning this lesson with the Reavers for everyone watching and just all of us that got to play today, it can do some serious destruction of those locations. That's something worth knowing.
Yeah, that's awesome on the 2 claim plot, especially, man, if you were to do, well, you couldn't do it with any of your like Victarian claim raising effects, but man, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, and you know, you got to watch out for this first turn too. This is a really good first turn play out of this deck. Is first turn manning the city walls, Reavers come out, they're not going to kneel, and you're going to be losing 4 locations if that's deemed necessary. If nothing else, it makes use of that 2 claim power challenge on the first turn.
Yeah, totally.
Which usually doesn't do anything for you.
So now, what is your only hope other than Obi-Wan?
Oh, there isn't one, you know, to be honest. It's
don't you hate that? It's like, oh man, I'm just treading water here.
You're just rolling through, and he's getting 3, you're getting 2. He's got the board. You're just kind of waiting.
Yeah. You put up a good fight, I'll give you that. But is there anything that like could have perfect stormed out of your deck that might have turned the tide?
You know, a Warcrest and a Die by the Sword or something could do some work here. Also, just maybe being able to stall around enough to get to that next Valor phase where I can actually recycle those plots. The game isn't moving terribly fast, even though Matt's at 8 power. At least I know he doesn't have that. If Rhaegal was still out, you know, that's where the issues start to come up. He would have probably won by now.
More saves. Just
More
what
saves,
you needed.
Not exactly what was needed, but never bad. And that looks like the Reader, which is a blessing, and Kraagorn. So about as good as you can top deck right there, to be honest. It got some card draw. It got a couple of uniques to trigger that card draw.
Yeah.
Kraagorn, the Warcrest. If I do draw to Die by the Sword, I can actually use it. And something to combine Victarian's Reavers with to actually get claim. Which is crucial because they're both Raiders, so it's nice.
Yeah, when I actually saw what came out of your hand there, I was thinking, you know, Matt hasn't marshaled yet, but this could be the makings of a comeback for Steven. The Reader is just so potent. It can really turn Greyjoy around, but we'll see what Matt brings out here. I can't quite remember.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I remember afterwards. I was like, well, nope.
Problem is, he's got so much fodder. I mean,
what
do you do with a 1-claim military challenge here? It's like, it's not really going to change anything.
Yeah, I kill a bird. Who cares?
Kill a bird.
Bird.
Your forgotten plans might take them by surprise, which
oh no,
doesn't really hurt too much, but a good like preemptive plot in case there was something that could turn it around, you know.
Yeah, for sure. But in due time, Matt will marshal.
At least we made Matt
He's a
think
thinking.
a little
Yeah,
bit
he's
here.
a thinker.
He's like, well, you're not supposed to do that.
I do like Matt's overall gameplay style because whenever he does get in a position like this, he doesn't get like cocky or anything like that. He's still very contemplative and wants to think things out, not make any mistakes. That way he can like be sure that he's going to hold on to what looks to be a win that he's got building right now.
Yeah, long lances. Here's the restricted card, and having no locations. Long lances is not that scary. No influence, no ambush.
Yeah.
But you never really want to see him.
No.
So 8 strength on the military challenge.
Which is beefy.
And I continuously keep hoping that Matt is going to kneel that Dragon Thief.
Hey, at least you have a reader that can match strength now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, but I've got to get unopposed with a unique character to trigger the reader. So
Oh, that's true. I forget that it has that stipulation.
It becomes very troubling.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to block with the carrion bird and claim the carrion bird.
Of course.
That's what birds do a lot of the time, actually.
Caw, caw.
And the best hope now is to maybe get the Reavers on a power challenge unopposed. Maybe.
Yeah, because it is unique.
All right, there's the intrigue challenge.
Intrigue. Here it comes.
Show me what you got, Matt.
Here it comes.
Show me what you got.
Wait for it. He's looking. What am I willing to lose or not lose?
Man, it's just so good to see no locations out there.
Yeah, no, the Targaryen locations are always troubling because they have essentially a continuous marshalling phase with this ambush stuff, and they can just pop things in. You thought you had the board figured out, and then suddenly, oh man, a new character. Everything's out of balance now. I lost the challenge that I might have won. Yada, yada, yada. It's crazy.
It looks like he lets that go unopposed,
Ooh.
which is excellent. I think in retrospect, that's probably the wrong decision. Although he wants to hit me back on the intrigue, but,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm getting a card now.
Mm-hmm.
So I get a card, I lose a card, but ultimately I probably have a better chance of seeing something good, because if that card in my hand was reasonable, I probably would have played it by now.
That's true. So now,
Contemplating the power challenge.
do you care about opposing and winning, or just opposing on your end when he comes power to try to stall him out?
Well, it's weird.
Because you also want to take power from him at the same time.
He can unopposed military challenge, no
Mm-hmm.
problem. He's got 2 stealths. As far as the power challenge, I could oppose it. He could have 1 stealth on it if he wanted. And at the same time, I want to take power so that I can keep him from winning. You have to constantly kind of calculate what's going to be going down here.
Yeah. I'm surprised that it is
Not a real good answer.
that it is still so close, 5 to 8 here.
Yep, it is.
But Matt has yet to attack.
Without Rhaegal and Dany, I mean, it's not a terribly fast deck.
Yeah, that's very true.
And heaven forbid those guys come out. Luckily, we won't see Rhaegal, but
I don't know if Matt ever drew into Dany that day. I might be mistaken, but I don't recall seeing it. I think I might even remember it being mentioned at some point.
did some math there, and it probably was faulty. I'm not sure that I can only oppose the power challenge. I can get. I don't know. There's a principle here that all players should know that I just haven't taken the time to really learn. But essentially, going for the power challenge instead of opposing the power challenge is speeding both of your guys' power gain up,
Yep.
as far as I remember. And I think that's how the reasoning went. And I may have been thinking, I just want to get this over.
And then also you had to attack with 2 just so you could have your power challenge work.
Sure.
You didn't have any hope if just, what was his name, Kragor or whatnot, attacked alone.
Yeah, he would just get stuff.
Oh, Vicky.
That one hurts.
Yeah.
That
I bet that's what you drew.
That could have been a turning point.
Yeah.
Because he's not kneeling. I'm getting now 2 claim on everything, power and otherwise. So that was actually a really huge intrigue pull. I've certainly got the gold in my plot deck to pay for him. So what a pull.
What a pull indeed. And yeah, these unopposed challenges are just going to ratchet Matt up pretty quick here. So 6 to 11, not quite so close as it used to be. But
Getting some dominance.
yeah, Dom to Steven.
I don't know if I think we were watching that. I think I claim it like
Afterwards, this next turn,
after the
I think.
plot. It's like, oh, hey,
Yeah.
yeah, dominance. But that's the kind of thing you can do whenever you're playing a local that you play against a lot. I would never think to even like do that to someone who I wasn't familiar with.
It was actually a fault of mine. I saw it in real time, but I was like, I don't know if I should jump in here or not, because I couldn't quite remember what the wording on dominance was, if you have to claim it and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there you have it.
And it looks like
Schemes?
Victorian schemes and can't play events, basically. I think all your stuff's immune to events.
Mm-hmm.
Characters and locations.
And then, was that King's Law?
Where?
No, that's Calm Before the
Calm
Storm.
Before the
Never
Storm,
mind.
yeah.
Never mind.
Victorian scheme.
My apologies.
Unopposed challenge, raising the claim. Now imagine that with Victorian. Just imagine it.
Imagine, no, yeah, that would be
Puts Matt in a weird position.
excellent. There's the dominance
it's like,
power.
Hey.
Yoink.
Dominance.
So, man, yeah. Imagine if you had that Victorian. That would be nuts.
I wouldn't be playing schemes, though. I'd be playing Attack from the Sea for that 4 gold, so I could actually play the dude.
Yep.
So, and Attack from the Sea wouldn't have done anything to anybody.
Yeah, not
It's
even
just 4
you.
gold, which is fine.
Yeah, when you lose that ambitious oarsman so early on in this game, it really does.
It's minus 3 gold right now for the rest of the game.
And to think of that Longship Grief as essentially like your gatehouse or whatever your gold location is as well is pretty significant as well.
It is. It's big. It's big.
So here it comes.
Dragon Bite on the reader.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. If
Gonna
there's an
bite ya.
attachment that has recently started showing up that I cannot hate more. There he is. There's Drogon.
I have always hated Dragon Bite. It is so good. It's so
look
frustrating.
at that Valor, would you?
I know.
Woo.
That was the main reason why I was like, man, I'm really surprised he did do the Simul Valor for essentially the 1 dragon kill. But, hindsight's 20/20. Maybe this was the better time. Who knows?
Yeah. Probably should have held it.
So, you have initiative. What are you thinking in terms of your options to try to maybe get to the next turn?
Yeah.
I got nothing.
I'm thinking it's over, man. It's so over. Reader's going to do an intrigue challenge. Everyone knows that. It's going to be the same story with the other guys. Notice I don't have anything to play. I think this is when I drew my 2 events.
Yeah.
It's just mounting. It's a tide that's just rising, and you can't beat it.
Yeah. It's difficult for sure.
And then I was asking you here about to be a Kraken. I remember whether or not I was immune to be a Kraken or not. And I think there's something with the effect. And
yeah, you're paying a cost with the immunity, which it circumvents costs, effects, but not costs. So it would still be illegal.
And that's about the extent of the trickery that I could come up with. It's like, well, maybe if I stand somebody, maybe. I don't know.
And then I actually bounce here because I was pretty sure I knew what the answer was, but I wanted to confirm because you just don't want to make a mistake on a ruling on a match like this. So went to confer with one of our local rules experts, which is actually Matt's friend Ben, who is also quite soundly educated on the rules. Yeah.
Visits the forums, that kind of well-versed.
Yeah, I don't do that. I just try to read and then get confused.
Yeah. It's the agate way. Look at those kicks that Matt's got on. That's pretty nice.
I know, right? He's actually wearing like Seinfeld grade sneakers there.
Those are like basketball playing sneaker. Like, this is an athletic event.
Yeah. Does that mean he does a lot of sneaking?
Because
they're sneakers.
This deck's not very sneaky.
There's a lot of stealth.
I wonder, is Matt like not playing locations just because he's afraid that I'll just nuke him?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Could be, because I saw that we chucked a Marine Tourney Grounds
for intrigue.
from his hand for intrigue.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's a pretty good location there.
I mean, maybe he'll just consolidate his resources on playing characters instead. It's just like, I think I might be able to win this without the...
Without Valor, why worry? Now, if there's 2 dragons out, this is just awful.
It's bananas, because then it's like character kill, location kill.
Yeah, Kraghorn's going.
It's not good.
And I suppose I can't remember if we'd actually gotten clarification on this, but I'm pretty sure you can put Kraghorn back in your hand even if your opponent doesn't have gold.
What?
It says return Kraghorn to your hand to take 1 gold from an opponent's gold pool.
Nice. Is that any phase?
Yeah, it's any phase.
Wow.
But it's like, if they don't have any gold, can you do that? And it's the classic like Game of Thrones. Can you initiate the effect? And it's the classic like Game of Thrones. Can you initiate the effect? Or if you can't satisfy
cost versus effect.
And I don't remember the answer. So if you guys are into doing something like that at some point in the game, I guess look it up before you try. I don't know the answer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there was actually another rules question that I couldn't answer. Oh, wait, it was a different deck. Matt had a rules question the other night that it's just like, man, what does that word imply? And it's nuts. So, yeah, check your forums, check all the Game of Thrones sites, and see if you can find a ruling somewhere, because sometimes it's just not obvious whatsoever.
Yeah. And, all right, so we got a military challenge. Hey, killed another carrion bird.
Hey, no more birds.
So next
just have
turn,
the big ones.
Assuming Matt doesn't play anything, we can get a Dragon Thief next turn, and then maybe a Long Lances the turn after. And then the dragons.
If in 4 turns with 1 claim military challenges and he doesn't play any characters, I might actually empty his board
By
out.
the way, this is why 1 claim is not great.
No, it's not.
Just the difference between 1 and 2 claim in the past couple rounds is huge.
Yeah.
But it's certainly to be balanced because, Matt's getting a decent amount of control out of his stuff. Like, right now, if I happen to have Die by the Sword with Kraegorn out there, I could have, killed a Drogon or a Viserion right there. But because he chose to drop that plot, I don't even have that option anymore. So
yeah, it's a pickle. But, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Well, you run 2 claims sometimes, I guess.
But I think you had ultimately done the right thing. It backfired with that that Nightmares plot or event. It's just you're going for that rush.
Should have had more finger dance,
More finger dance and seasick.
Yeah. Seasick is so weird right now. It's like, with all this Targaryen nonsense, you can't really play it.
It's
They
true.
can always just cancel it. But at the same time, if they're playing dragons and stuff, their influence is usually down.
Yeah.
And Hollow Hill seems to kind of gone out of style recently, so.
Mm-hmm.
And Lannister's a horrible matchup for this deck. Be honest, didn't see a single Lannister deck. I was so pleased all day. Lannister would shut this down. I have no doubt in my mind.
That's too bad, because I had just given Ben Ruggles my PBJ deck to play for the day. I was wondering who was going to play.
Yeah. I mean, hand would have been emptied turn 1 and top deck city.
Yeah.
Horrible. Card draw, guys. It's all about card draw.
It's all about the card
Nothing
draw.
else matters. Put Joffrey in there. No, to put Tommen in there.
Yeah. You used to do that.
I used to do that, and then people played Threat from the North.
Just to spite me.
Or, I mean, it's like, and then Burn was cool, and then it's like, well, now I can't run anything less than 2 strength.
Well, really 3.
It's just a waste of time. At that
Yeah.
point. Even Kraegorn, like, he wouldn't be in here if I wasn't not worried about Burn.
Yeah.
Which it probably should be, but I have a big army using no attachments, so I wasn't really concerned.
Yeah.
Reavers, man, Burn hates Reavers. Does everything they don't want. Kills their locations, and they can't do anything about it.
And then they have those weenie characters out that try to salvage the situation, but they just can't.
They just can't. Shadow Parasites just won't stand up. Readers coming in hot.
Yeah.
Don't give me another card, Matt. Oh, you're gonna do it. Yeah.
There it is. Drawsies.
Boom.
1,
Unopposed.
2.
2 claim. Not great pulls, but
Hey, you'll take it.
I'll take it. Less cards. Man.
You're up to 8. You have a chance.
I mean, it's not horrible. I mean,
No,
it's
no.
got, what, 3-4 cards?
You put up a very valiant fight, all things considered.
It's card draw, though, man. It
Yeah.
all comes down to card draw.
So you're up to 4 cards.
Oh, that was my
to be.
trick.
Oh. Did you have another, though?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I was about to say.
I drew like 2 of them in like the worst time you could ever imagine. That's another problem with not having Ambitious Oarsman. Usually he is my go-to to be a Kraken guy. Because it's like, I know you in marshalling. And they're like, house divided. And it's like, no. I'm going to stand that Ambitious Oarsman and then use him again. What up?
Gotcha. That's pretty funny.
13 power. And we're going to try to kill something. But, oh, wait.
There's more.
Oh, wait.
He's coming in.
You're not killing Kraegorn on my watch.
Did he declare his stealth? Or is he...
He's pointing for the response.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
And then I'm like, is it even worth wasting
Yeah,
time
you totally should.
to be a Kraken?
You have to stifle it every turn.
It's like, or should I wait for Viserion? That's the ultimate question.
That's true. That is true. Oh, you're going for it.
It's like, at this point, I have no characters, so like, they're as precious as the day.
Stand, cancel.
It doesn't matter who you stand because they're getting stealth, so
Yep.
just stand your biggest dude and win dominance harder.
Oh man,
You're
I
actually
love
getting
that.
to see the internal dialogue that's occurring in my head.
Yeah, I love that event though. It's such a good one.
It's a great event. Man, sometimes you're sitting there, though, and you're like, this event is not what I want. It's the first turn. I've got nothing kneeling. My military battle is not even in my use pile yet. It's like...
You're saving.
That's another big thing with Fury of the Kraken, too. That's really what dropped that plot in there the most, was the to be a Kraken and then the Fury of the Kraken just worked too well together.
Well, you're down to Steven, and Matt's one away now.
One away. Here comes the Winter Festival for this deck, no doubt.
Yeah, no kidding. Sometimes just winning and marshalling, or plot rather, is the bee's knees.
And, truth be told, Matt could have drawn a lot better than it looks like he did.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing the dragons is great and all, but, these decks can get straight ludicrous if they draw into a lot of weird stuff. So I'm at least glad that it wasn't a complete steamroller. And Matt's like, I've got mine. I'm winning this thing. I don't care. Nothing you can do.
I have chosen you. Go, plot, go.
Or if there's a plot that just said, trigger one of your other plots in your use pile. Boom.
Oh, man.
Double Valor. What?
I don't think, they could ever do that for that reason.
Never do it.
That'd be insane.
What if we got a River Valor?
Buzz Hannon would freak out. Let me tell you.
Everyone discards all but one character.
He would freak out.
Trigger it twice.
Another janky river plot effect? Yes, and please.
River plots are starting to hang out a little bit.
They are, actually. They're getting better, but they're still...
It took 20 tries, though, is the problem.
It did.
The city plots came out, and it's like, oh, these are all great.
But more importantly, it took 2 cycles.
Spinning the winter stores. Attack from the sea. Hey, doesn't matter.
What are we doing? What attachment are you getting, Steven?
Oh, I probably have one more Captain of the Iron Fleet. I'm going to make Kragon Captain of the Iron Fleet here, no doubt.
Nice.
Or, Dragon Lore. That's about the worst thing you want to see. Could be the Reader as well, I don't know.
But he doesn't have a Maester out yet.
Could make him the Capitan. I mean, there's a reason, well, it could just be for the gold.
Mm-hmm.
It could just be for the gold.
That's true.
We're down to one plot left.
And 1 power left to go.
You see my gatehouse on the bottom of the deck there. It's like, where were you?
What are you doing down here? Get to the top.
You're supposed to be in my opening hand.
Maybe it was pulled under. Who knows?
Yeah. There's a card. It doesn't help at all against Dragon.
No attachments.
Boom. Draw. Ooh. Looks good. All right, let's see what we get. Okay. 4 gold. All right. I see Fish Whiskers. Ooh, I love me some Fish Whiskers.
He's a captain.
There's a gatehouse. Hey.
It's too
Just
late.
what you want.
Yep.
Fish Whiskers, yes. I love that guy.
1 cost, 3 strength.
Do
Bicon.
it.
What?
Yeah, give him renown.
He is now the captain of
Matt.
the fleet. Your locations better watch out, Matt.
This does feel very much like a fighting the dragons on the ocean kind of battle.
Man, that would suck because they're just going to burn all your ships.
Yeah, that's obviously what's happening here. But Fish Whiskers has maintained. He's promoted himself now.
I got this.
Don't worry. I'll get rid of all their. Wait. I don't have any
Whoopsie-doodle.
locations. But hey, I'm at what, 8 power? Fish Whiskers gets renowned twice. That puts me at 10. A couple unopposed challenges. I'm within striking distance here.
If I could just hold out for
Make an
another
example. Boom.
3 or 4 turns.
Make an example. May be able to win me the game here if I had run that instead. Of
Yeah.
A few other things that
Ifs and
running.
buts. If I had run that, if I had just had Wheaties for breakfast.
It's like you want to take this Raider deck in a little bit more long-term direction. Maybe think about card draw. No Bay of Ice just kills this deck because every plot is designed to win initiatives. So
Mm-hmm.
that really hurts. But I don't know. I don't know if you can dismantle it too much without losing really the essence of the rush that's going on.
Yeah, because at a certain point, that's a problem I'm familiar with Lannister, is that you put in these card draw effects, and then if you start drawing into card draw effects rather than the actual tools you need to win the game, then it just becomes really problematic. So it's like, oh man, what's the right ratio? How much is this worth compared to that? Because at the same time, Rush, you're trying to win early, and then card draw is all about really prolonging the game, or at least having the tools for a prolonged game.
It's control, baby.
So it's really kind of contradictory effects going on there.
And I think in the battle of rush decks, the Greyjoy Raiders are in the top.
Yeah.
For sure. So
I would agree.
if
Grief.
if you're expecting this kind of rushy aggro environment, they do really well in it. But I didn't see really a 100% dedicated control deck. The closest was Greg's Maester deck, which I just got out ahead of.
That deck was bananas.
It was banana, but it wasn't really control. It didn't mess with your stuff. It just got big and discarded stuff.
It did a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but didn't see any kneel effects, icon removal, even just Westeros Bleedsy kind of stuff. Didn't see the really true to core control decks, the hyper kneels, and that is really what launched this thing into the top 4, to be honest.
So, final assessments. Challenges, here we come.
I'm sure I'm talking trash. I love talking trash to Matt. It's like, oh, you're done now. You're done now. Didn't even know.
So,
10 strength.
what are we leading with here?
Oh, it's probably military. Look, this card and that card.
See? I have 2. What do you have? Oh, 4.
You've
Weird.
got no cards. I'm making a Y-wing with my cards. Another fighting pit comes out, by the way.
Yeah,
What?
you never want to see that.
Did you need that, Matt? You got 14 power. Come on, dude.
No, not really.
You don't need it.
He probably played it just to spite you.
Yeah. He's like, put your Reavers out here now. I'll get rid of my temple.
Man, that is... that fighting pit, though, it drives me nuts. A character with a weapon or a dragon?
Yeah.
What?
But look at the situation right here, right now. Is C's worth playing? Did you spend 2? I mean, obviously, if I didn't spend the gold on anything, probably worth playing. But it's like, And then Dragon Thief comes out and he gets it back. It's like...
true.
I just don't know.
Are you running any weapons?
No.
Oh. Trait manip?
No. Nope. This isn't a manip kind of deck.
Yes.
It's your face manipulation.
I'm manipulating my power pool to victory. 15, I win. Man, the sneakers are back.
I think the Sustained Raider deck, by the way, starts with Iron Victory. Just saying. I mean, it's the version I was running for so long, and it's a bit more versatile. I think it would have done a lot better in these situations. But there's a lot of games that I think against like a game like with Greg, the grief was key there.
Yeah.
Just being able to overwhelm those challenges so early.
Yeah, I saw plenty of your earlier games where I thought that grief was the better choice between it and Iron Victory. It's like, ooh, that really came in handy.
Oppose. It's 8.
8 and 4.
11. Do the whole thing. Now watch this. Now this is where the deck is crazy. What you guys have to watch out for with dragon decks, or if you're running a dragon deck, do what's about to happen. All right, we're going to stand that dude. Okay, so then we're going to kneel this. We're going to put a Dragon Thief in.
Which long lances?
So then we're going to trigger long lances. We're going to get rid of that Captain of the Iron Fleet, so forget your renown. And then we're going to stand this other dragon.
And then he's going to trigger his dragon effects.
It's like, oh, great.
Yeah.
Great, wonderful. Thanks. Yeah, can't do it. Non-unique only. Haha, Matt. Get rid of that Dragon Bite. I was really trying to get rid of that Dragon Bite.
That's great. But yeah, that was an impressive combo he just pulled off.
Like, it's just what Long Lances does.
Yep.
You just throw in stuff and...
Duly restricted. Because that is just bananas.
And Matt's just showing off now. This is like, he's going for the slam dunk. As he should.
It's a slam dunk. Well, if you're going to want to be champion later in the day, you have to really assert yourself and make an example of all the would-be champions.
That's right.
It's like, oh, well, I'm going to now crush you. That way you will never think of opposing me again.
I let you think you might have had a chance on that first turn.
It's a very Targaryen thing to do, it seems.
I don't know why we're taking so long here. This is pretty straightforward.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Making it dramatic.
Yeah, that's right.
Some pins and needles.
Man, that Dragon Bite did a whole lot of nothing, by the way.
It did. A whole lot of nothing.
Reader, an interesting choice. I mean, I guess you can't put anything on the Reavers. I had Kraegor out. You may as well throw it on Kraegor. I don't know. You could just throw them back in your hand, though.
Reavers are no attachments?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. They're severely underrated, actually.
They are.
People give them a lot of crap.
More and more, no attachments has become quite the asset. early on in my Game of Thrones history, I always saw no attachments as a hindrance because I wanted to run some and put them on my own characters. But now these players are running like control-y, nasty attachments, pulled under, fishing net, dragon bite, enslaved, you name it.
Enslaved, man.
It's crazy.
What a card.
Yeah, it is what a card.
Lannister is really like...
They've stepped it up.
They're so good.
Yeah, there are many decks that are super quality now that they can run, and they're all very scary in very different ways. So it's like, man, Lannister players have options, but what do I really like try to tech for?
Like I said, a single castling against this kind of a Raider deck is like, you're probably going to lose.
Yeah, because it's just like, hey,
Gonna...
what's your beefiest and most critical character? Oh, that one? Well, he's not.
Boom, nighttime raid. Gonna give him stealth. Stealth at Dragon Thief. I need a card. What?
And then you get to get rid of Dragon Bite.
That's right, finally.
You have vexed me all game. I'm tired of you.
Had to stealth to get an intrigue through because there's 2 Dragon Thieves.
Yep.
It's like, what? You guys are weenies. I've got the reader.
He's been reading all day.
Yeah, how can you oppose somebody who's been reading all day? With Dragon Thieves, they haven't been reading anything.
Yeah.
Stealing eggs.
If they are reading, it's like romance novels.
I remember this moment. It was like, he opposed that. I was like, no, that's the one I stealth.
Yeah, that was a great joke, actually. Gotta
get you ready for the finals, Matt.
Stephen Willie never stops messing with you as a player. Let that be known.
It didn't even trigger the reader. Oh, it was opposed. Yeah, no reason. Unopposed. Trigger the reader now. Dude, see, I should make him discard the top 3. Boom. Look at that power jump.
Yoink.
Oh, what am I at, 10 there?
Gotcha.
Captain the Iron Fleet gets rid of that and drawing a card. What? Look at that. So
it's the
good.
Best turn ever.
So good.
Intrigue. And we're done.
And okay, we got 2 dragons. Okay, we get it. We get it.
Just make your challenges. And he's still thinking. He's still cautious. Look at him. There you go. Handshake.
Good game, Matt Phillips. So there you have it, guys. That's, I think, a pretty good display of actually what you can expect from a Long Voyage v Raiders matchup for the Dragons versus the Raiders. You know, it's a matter of what you see early and what you don't see, and that Nightmare has really sealed the game.
But and worth noting that even though the Valor play by Matt kind of accelerated the turn of the game's pace on the second turn, it still wasn't until like that 4th turn or so that the Long Voyage really started decisively through card draw,
long-term deck.
Turned it around, because until then you were really neck and neck, and if you just had better cards and Matt had less advantageous pulls for intrigue challenges with that Victorian and stuff, it could have been way different.
One Bay of Ice would have been great.
One Bay of Ice.
Exceptionally well played by Matt. I didn't really see any mistakes on his part, and showed off the deck really well. Just stuck it in there, didn't get worried, and did what he had to do to win.
Yep.
So you can't argue with that.
He's a champion.
Thanks for watching, guys. We've got more top 8 games coming down the pipeline, including the finals, of course.
That's right.
So thanks for watching, and if you want to support what we're doing here, just head on over to teamcovenant.com/store, and you can find all the chapter packs, singles, subscriptions, and house packs you need to find yourselves at the top tables at your local regionals, and maybe at Gen Con or Worlds in the future.
They're coming.
They're coming. So take care, guys, and we'll catch you next time.
See ya.